Hey, so if you're anything like me, you probably stayed up all night long wondering where the sun went. And then it dawned on me. I love my laugh. I love my laugh track. It's awesome. Look, if you hang out with me, you'll realize I laugh at all my own jokes, so you don't have to, but you probably will because they're freaking awesome.
They are pretty funny.
Yeah, pretty fun stuff. Okay, so yesterday they did a bunch of spray foam. Today they're going to do some more spray foam. It's still a little bit cold. I'm about to get on the roof and clean off some overspray because, I'm suicidal, I guess. Actually, I'm not, okay? I would rather kill myself than commit suicide.
Me too.
Yeah, don't do that. So today we are also going to probably get up there and color that deck black. We're going to call it stain. I haven't looked at it yet, but we're hoping it's stain.
Stanish.
But I want to talk to you today about hypocrites. Now, I know that hypocrites are a great reason for people not to go to church. I hear it all the time. There's too many hypocrites in church. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know where else there's a bunch of hypocrites? And they're like, nowhere. I'm like, think it through. First, let's define a hypocrite, okay? Because if you're using this excuse, which most of you are, I don't want to go to church because there's too many hypocrites. A hypocrite is somebody who says one thing and does another thing, often the exact opposite of what they say, okay? So, for example, you're like, they say not to do all these bad things, but then they do all those bad things. But then they criticize you for doing those bad things. That's a hypocrite. Nobody wants to be around those people, okay? Nobody. Including, let me think about this, Jesus. In fact, they're the only people that he criticized, okay? Think this through. There was tax collectors, there was prostitutes, there was people caught in adultery, there was thieves, there were murderers that all came to Jesus. And he didn't condemn any of them. But he did condemn Pharisees and hypocrites, which are very overly churchy people who think they're right and everybody else is wrong, and people who say one thing and do another. Jesus criticized them too. So you're in the same boat. You're already in good company. Start there. Now go to church. Find a good one, right? Because it matters. Now, a long time ago, I realized there are hypocrites in church, oftentimes. You know where else there are hypocrites? Bars. You go to a bar and you're like,
what?
I know. It's a true story. You know where else there's hypocrites? At work.
No.
At any restaurant. At movie theaters, at sports games, at watching the news, literally everywhere that you go, there's hypocrites.
Shut up.
No, it's a true story. Because people do one thing and say another, oftentimes. And I came to the conclusion for myself, and you've come to your own conclusion, it better be my conclusion or else.
Right.
I'm so serious. That I am not going to let somebody else's hypocrisy turn me into a hypocrite. So let me explain what that means. I look at somebody else and I go, you're a hypocrite because you say this and you do this. Therefore, I'm not going to go to church, but I'm better than you. But I'm still doing the same things that you're doing.
But isn't that being a hypocrite, John?
Yes, it is. And that's what I'm saying. Is like when you're sitting there saying they're too judgy and then you judge them on their judginess.
That makes you like the judge's judgier.
Yes, it does.
It's like judgier. Judgier.
So don't do it.
Don't
right?
do that. Right.
You got to be okay with there are going to be some people that say one thing and do another.
So what you're saying basically is that there's going to be others that have difference in their lifestyles and opinions?
What I'm saying is this. When I go to church and I see somebody that's not perfect, I'm not like this. I'm like this. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're here because you know why? You need to be here. We're all at different places in our lives. Financially, spiritually, morally, everything across the board. There are some that look like full-grown adults and you're like, you are an infant or a toddler at best, spiritually. I know. And I'm saying, come here and let me help you. I love you just the same. It's okay.
Will you swaddle them?
I will. I swaddle them in clothes so they don't kick, and then I hold them, and then I pat them and burp them. It's very important.
Especially coming out of the bar.
Yeah, you have to. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and this will be a longer video. I don't care. So many years ago, I was out at a bar, and when I see somebody that's overly drunk, I'm like, hey, you need a ride. And they're like, I don't need a ride. You don't know me.
You don't know me.
And so
you're not my daddy, are you?
This one gentleman was beyond drunk, and he got drunk, every day. He's a lifer. But he was stumbling drunk. And so I'm like, hey, let me have your keys. No, I got to work tomorrow. And this was before the pandemic when you could work at your house. So I'm like, let me just see your keys. Nope, you're not taking them. I'm like, I'll give you a ride. I'll come get you in the morning and take you back to your car. Nope, not going to do it. You don't know me. So as he's arguing with me, he literally falls into the road and does not get back up on Cooper Street, which is, in case you're not from Texas, a very, very busy street, okay? Falls down, does not get up. I'm like, dude. So I pick him back up and lay him in the grass. He's laying there like, I can drive. I'm like, you cannot drive. You're so oblivious. I'm like, give me your keys. He won't. Finally, I pull my own keys out of my pocket, and I'm like, too late. I already got my keys. And he's like this. How did you get my keys? He doesn't bother to check his own pocket. And I put them right back in my pocket, and he is astonished. Like, how did you get my keys?
What form of sorcery is
Yeah,
this?
what manner of sorcery is this? And so I was like, I can't tell you, but I can't give you your keys back. And he's like, give me my keys back. I'm like, I can't. Which is true, I couldn't because I didn't have them. And so this went on until finally he was so confused that he let me give him a ride. I probably saved his life that night. And probably, I don't know, somebody else. I'm hoping there's a family that was on their way home because they drove late to see their sick grandmother and then didn't die because I did that. So
It could have been the Manson family, too.
could have been. I might have saved Hitler.
Sometimes you just don't go back in time. Oh, wait, that's not time travel. Sorry.
I figured out how to
Wrong
travel
video.
in time.
How?
In real time.
Shut up!
I can travel across a second like that to the count of one.
What?
I know. I can
That's
travel across a
crazy.
day in just 24 hours.
Oh, my God, dude.
I know. I can travel across a year in just 12 months.
That's pretty incredible.
It really is.
You know, I've got a superpower, too.
Let's hear it.
I can levitate birds.
No. With your mind?
What else?
Yeah, well,
Oh, and I can mend paper.
you mend paper.
Yes.
Please tell me more.
Oh, no, that's all I got.
Oh, no.
That's all I have.
What does your shirt say? Does that say, when life gives you AIDS, make lemonades?
I think it does.
Who made that shirt?
Oh, this squirrely little feller.
It was me.
He's an extra medium.
Oh, hey there. So, it might be cold, but at least it's windy. Let's add another layer to this. It's, I'm trying to think of a good word for it. I guess they call it Tejano music. So we got a crew working inside spraying foam, and I really appreciate them. But Jimmy, how do you feel about their music?
It means death to gringo, is what it means.
Is that what they're saying?
It is murder and torturous ear destruction.
But there's a lot of variety in it, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of variety. You get bass, tuba, bass,
Accordion.
accordion, and then there's a bass, tuba, and polka.
Definitely, it is polka music. And I learned this because I was doing a tour where I was filming a Tejano music fest. And somebody brought to my attention the fact that the Germans came into Mexico, to a part of Mexico, and when they did, they brought polka music, at which point that became Tejano music. So,
Thank you, Germany.
yeah, thanks for that. It's
Appreciate
great.
you.
It's great on every job site. Does anybody have any Advil? No reason.
It ain't gonna help.
It probably won't. You know it.
Every other word.
So they their accordion players are like our lead guitar players, right? And so they're playing, they're going to town. I'm filming, but I'm handheld. So there's two guys in the back, they're on sticks, on tripods, and then I'm filming handheld. And so I'm right up on them, right? Well, it's the same thing over and over again. Some of them had 3-4 accordion players at one time, and they're very talented. It's just not my style because, I don't know,
Because you don't suck. Sorry.
because I came from a different culture. Anyway,
A good culture.
you know, no judgment, but
Where
yes.
we don't eat horse tripe. Sorry. That's my dad coming at me. I'm sorry.
He is really sorry. So there would be times I saw one guy playing the accordion and another guy was pulling it apart with his teeth. So he's playing with his teeth like lead guitar players play with their teeth.
Nice.
It was pretty
Should have
fantastic.
chewed harder.
Now, probably the most memorable part of this Tejano Music Fest was one gentleman in particular. He was quite round and quite old. But apparently he was a big deal in Mexico, and he had to be 65 and probably 365 pounds American. And he was sweating profusely, and it wasn't that hot.
Yeah, he probably just got a shower.
Yeah, but I think he had a lot of insulation under his skin.
Yeah.
So he's up there, and he's singing with confidence. And there's young girls, I mean, like underage girls, like, oh, amigo.
Oh, papi.
Yeah, oh, papi, oh, papi. And like taking his sweat and rubbing it on them and all this. And I'm just like, this is so weird.
That's like trans fat.
And he kind of, yes, he kind of looked like, what that dude,
Kool-Aid guy?
no, oh gosh, what is his name? The old porn star dude.
Ron Jeremy?
That's him. So they kind of look like Ron Jeremy, but Hispanic. And so
Oh, sexy.
on comm, they started calling him Juan Jeremy, right? So most people, you put the camera on them and they turn away and they start playing somewhere else. They look at another part of the crowd or whatever. They definitely do not look at the camera. Juan Jeremy loved the camera. And I mean, he wanted to love the camera, right? So I'm holding the camera handheld, and he's just coming closer and closer and closer to me, and I'm like, oh, no. And on comm, I'm like,
up, you're busting my camera.
so there's a catwalk, right, along, and I'm walking backwards with him, and eventually I get to the end of the catwalk, and I'm looking back like, I think Juan Jeremy's going to knock me off. So then I'm like this, like, oh, no. And Juan Jeremy's like this. He's like down in my face.
I'm coming to get you.
And I was like, I think Juan Jeremy's going to eat me. It was so scary. I'd survived. Anyway, that's the end of my story. So I hope that helps your day, because maybe you're not freezing cold and staining a deck with opaque stain and listening to some of the best music that they have to offer.
And that's just frightening.
Oh, hey there. That's embarrassing, as usual. So we got spray foam up today, which is very, very exciting. I don't know if you can tell how much quieter it is. There's not wind just howling in the microphone. Beautiful. So let's take a look over here. Don't fall off. But look up, and what do you see? Oh, no, that is beautiful. It looks like it snowed inside. A nice, soft blanket of warm, or if you want it to be cool, snow. Your choice.
I'm drifting down.
Woo. We also did this. We can't actually go out there on it, but we stained the deck black, most of it, which is beautiful. Okay, and then if you look over to the right, you'll see that we haven't done that part.
Dun dun dun.
Undone.
Yeah.
Undone. All right, so I want you to think about this. If you keep doing the right thing, one day somebody's going to come and slam the keys right down on the counter to your dreams. It's going to happen. Now, maybe I'm wrong about this, because I'm wrong about a lot of things. But I started making these videos because somebody was like, hey, we like your pictures. We'd like to see some videos. And so I started doing them, and I was like, who in their right mind would want to watch me work? And it turns out that it's thousands of you. And I'm so grateful. I love sharing my day with you. There came a point where I was acting in a series for Amazon Prime that was maybe not a blockbuster quality type quality. And I thought, man, if they can get on Amazon Prime, surely I can. And so I spent quite a bit of time, and I put subtitles in, and I got all the episodes exactly what they needed to be, and I did all my credits on the front and back, and on and on and on. I spent quite a bit of time on this. I had to learn, like, how do I do subtitles? First, I'm manually typing them, and then I'm figuring out automated ways to do it, on and on and on. I finally get all this work done on like 3 seasons or something, and Amazon Prime's like, yeah, no, don't even bother trying. We're not interested. You can't ever apply again. And I'm like, wait, what? This other thing got it, and do you won't even give me a chance? I was a little discouraged. You ever get kicked in the balls? Yeah, well, it felt like that. Or maybe like punched in the stomach. And there was a moment where I was like, well, then fine, I guess I just won't make any more videos anymore.
Stupid videos anyway.
But then I was like, I love you guys. I love making these videos. So I'm happy to do it just even for nothing.
Look at that.
But last night, I applied to another TV channel, and they called me this morning and said that they love it. And so hopefully, you know, it hadn't been done yet, but hopefully we will have John Works Too Much on TV soon. So I'm very, very, very excited. Oh, look at me. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I tinkled.
I got a little bit of advice for you guys. I mean, that's a praise for me, but I want to give you guys a little bit of advice. First of all, never trust a person who can spell gonorrhea on the first try. Something's not right there. Yeah, something's not right there.
There's a reason for that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows how to spell that word. It's a weird word. And if you do know how to spell it, probably a bad reason for that.
Yeah.
Also, in general, just never trust a girl who was born on her birthday.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, I mean, because you just know, like, she's going to be... Yeah. So, if you come inside, you can see the magic that is happening here. This is the well house. We've talked about this before. Well water comes up here. There's a pump that goes 800 feet down. Congratulations. Then there's a shutoff valve that goes to the house, comes into the house, that feeds everything. There's a pressure tank. But, you know what happens when water gets to 32 degrees Fahrenheit?
It turns into hard ice.
It turns into a solid, otherwise known as ice. Now, why is that a problem? Because when it freezes, it expands. And when it expands inside a pipe, sometimes those pipes burst. Now, PEX is much less likely to burst. This is PEX. Copper will burst all the time.
So easy.
But, in case you did not know this, we have this spray foam, which is great. We've got, once power gets in here, we're going to wire in a light. You can have a light bulb, not an LED, but like an incandescent light bulb that has a little wire that's technically on fire. And the heat produced in that, inside this room, with the door closed, will be enough to keep the pipes from freezing. So I think that's pretty magical. It's something that you'll probably never use unless you do, at which point you'll be like, look how smart I am. I remember I learned that from somewhere. And I'll be like, that was from me. I want you to think about this real quick. There are a lot of people in the world who are grateful and happy with a lot less than you have that you complain about.
That's right.
Yep. So be grateful and happy. Choose to do that. If you're not, it's a habit that you've gotten into. You probably were taught this by other people. Maybe your parents, maybe TV, maybe Guns N' Roses. I don't know. Probably not Guns N' Roses. I'm thinking somebody more melancholy. Like, who's melancholy? I don't know.
Oh, like Bush?
Somebody, right? Like, I don't listen
dad.
I don't listen to depressing music because I'm a happy person.
The Cure.
Yeah, The Cure, yeah. Which turns out that it's really more like the cause is what it should be called.
Yeah, no doubt.
The cause of depression. Nevertheless, find something to be happy about. Choose to be happy. Like, live your life. Your life is going to come and go, and you can be happy the whole time or you can be miserable the whole time. Choice is yours. But what we're choosing to do is go see Jimmy play tonight because he's awesome.
Word.
You going to leave me?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Wait.
Boom goes the dynamite. Explosion fist strikes again. Let's get out of here. Oh, you guys. So, as you can clearly tell, we have blacked the deck. I don't know if that's how you say it. We have stained the deck with an opaque stain that happens to be the color black, which I don't know if it's all the colors combined or the absence of color. What do you think?
Probably that.
I don't know. Because let's think about this. White light is all the colors combined in light.
In light.
Right? And then in light, the absence of color and the absence of any light at all is black. Right? You can't project black.
Or can you?
But if you're mixing crayons, which is usually how I do it,
Yeah.
and you get all the colors together, then you get black. So I don't know. This is what I do know. You never look good trying to make somebody else look bad. Think about that. If you're sitting there and if you're thinking, I need to elevate myself by knocking this other person down and insulting them to somebody else when they're not there to defend themselves, so that then you feel like you're better, that never works. People see right through that and they're like, I don't like you. Because if you're talking trash about them behind their back, you're probably talking trash about me behind my back too. And I don't want to be around people like you.
Amen.
So maybe rethink your strategy. And instead of insulting somebody else to make yourself feel better, why don't you just improve yourself?
There you go.
You guys again. Well, today, among other things, we got this rail up and it's filled with cables and turnbuckles and all kinds of cool looking stuff. So let's get closer. Come on over here, Jimmy. So we got metal up here, which we painted, which is pretty cool. And then if you look, we got all these cables with turnbuckles on them. And what that means is that if these get loose over time, then you just tighten this up. And one of them's reverse threads and one of them's not. And so it just cinches it right up. And then you get it tighter. And how cool is that? So I think it's a pretty cool look. Let's take a look down here. Oh, yeah, that's nice.
All the way down.
That's nice. So, what do you want to talk about, Jimmy? Perfect.
Yep,
Here's what I got. Are you ready?
I am.
Now, this applies to, let's be honest, most of us. I think there's a lot of people that are living on glories from long ago. Okay? You did something, I don't know, when you were a kid or when you were young or when you were younger. Obviously not when you're older because that's not happened yet. And you're just you're just living off of that. Like, that's what I am. You're like, are you always gonna be a football star if you played in the 7th grade and now you're in your 50s? Or did you used to be a football star?
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
If you continue to play football, then yes, you are you're still a football star. All right, so what am I getting at? I'm getting at this. He who lives in sin is a sinner, no matter what he calls himself and no matter what he may have been in the past. So if you're very confident, like, yeah, but blah, 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 I said a prayer 20 years ago.
Once saved, always saved.
Maybe it's super duper important that you get this right and that you, not in front of other people, not in front of me, don't make a comment about it. You and God maybe get right and go, you know, if I'm being honest, I got some things I could work on. If I'm gonna have to give account for my life, maybe it's time to get that stuff right. All right, so tomorrow we're gonna do more stuff, but right now we're gonna go home because Jimmy's playing another show. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
It's a little bit dark as usual, and we're getting done, and then I'm finally like, oh, you guys need to know what we're talking about. But today, while I was working on the cable rail thing, which was pretty cool, and Jimmy was painting underneath this deck, which was painful, we had, I mean, I know it was because I was doing it yesterday. It's just monotonous. Oh my goodness, it's monotonous. We had a crew, Billy and Sharon Feaster's crew, Be Fast Drywall, and they were in here hanging sheetrock upstairs and downstairs and some in the garage too. And I think they're going to get it all hung by tomorrow, which is amazing. I don't understand how they do it, but they're just like zip, 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 and cutting, and next thing you know, boom, it's beautiful. I'll show you tomorrow in the daylight how much better it looks, but it's really amazing. All right, now, there's a lot of challenges on the internet. Tide Pod challenge where you eat a Tide Pod, that's a dumb thing. Snort a condom, also a dumb thing. There are a lot of dumb things. I got a challenge for you guys on the internet. You ready for this? I want you to try not to get caught, but I want you to go and do something nice for somebody.
What?
Here's the important part. Try not to get caught by anybody. Don't tell anybody. Don't put it on social media. Don't tell your family. Don't tell your friends. Don't tell the person that you did it for. Just go and do something nice, and don't tell anybody. And then you can secretly watch and be like, ooh, they're happy. And then just don't tell them. You'll love it. That was so weird that you guys were back there. And I was just I'll tell you what it is that we were listening to some Mexican music all day long, polka. Sorry, Tejano. Get those two confused. And, I felt like it was kind of giving me a seizure a little bit. Now, I don't know if there's a medical condition that makes you enjoy that kind of music, but I definitely do not have it. So we had a wonderful crew out here, and they knocked it out. I mean, all the sheetrock's up, and then Jimmy worked on this black underneath the deck, which was great, and then I got all these cables run through the rail, and it looks so much better in here. Like, it looks so much better. But the crew was just here, and they said, hey, amigo, and I'm like, yeah. And they said, we got a magic trick for you. I'm like, all right, cool. And they're like, you ready? I'm like, I guess. I'm like, okay, on the count of 3. Uno, dos, and then they disappeared without a trace. Hello. So, I want to brag on what Jimmy did today. Now, Jimmy has played how many shows this week? 4?
Oh, 5, 20.
Who even knows? That's a lot, right? So, poor guy, his fingers have got to be just so exhausted, but he's also been doing all this work and doing a great job. So, you see all this black under here? That's a lot of work, but it looks amazing. Well worth it. And Jimmy's been slaving away for probably months on that, maybe less. But wow, what a significant difference that makes. Now, a lot of you are probably glad that I'm a contractor, among other things, among the 52 other things I do. But when I was younger, and even still sometimes today, people are like, you know, you should be a doctor. And I'm like, oh, That's very flattering. I assume they mean because I'm smart and I could go to medical school and I would be able to retain big words that had 17 syllables and things like that, which I can do. But I was shocked to find out that really what it was is they're like, you should be a doctor because your handwriting looks like a bird stepped in some ink and then tried to cover up its own poop on the paper.
God.
That kind of hurts my feelings.
That's a feeling hurter.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm like, is my handwriting that bad? And they're like, John, yes. Like, seriously, go back to handwriting school or whatever, first grade or whenever you learn that kind of stuff. So off I go to the first grade. See you guys later.